Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Eat, Drink, Laugh Kitchen. I'm Vince Spitali. It's almost mandatory for me to show you how to make pasta. It's a staple dish in every Italian household, and if I could eat it every day, believe me, I would. This is probably enough pasta for about 4 people, or 1 person like me. All right, so bringing our ingredients right over to our mixer. Our flour goes right in. Touch of salt. And 2 eggs. Right in. I'm gonna drop this, lock her in place, and let the dough hook do its thing. It's gonna take a few minutes for this to come together. As soon as it does, I'm gonna pull it out and I'm gonna knead it on the table. Now, don't be afraid if it's a little crumbly or if you got some loose pieces. It's all going to form together the more you work it. And again, as I always say, the best tool for this is your hands. You can go around, pick up all the little loose pieces that may have fallen off. And you basically just want to fold it over and over again while pressing with the palm of your hand, just to give it that nice consistency. You want it kind of elasticy. You don't want it to be gritty and rough. And like a pie crust or any other type of dough that you're making, you want to let it sit for a while in the fridge. And now this will go into the fridge for about half an hour, and then we'll be ready to cut our noodles. Okay, so our pasta is ready to be formed into sheets. That's the first stage we're gonna use. Now, what I have here, again, going back to our stand mixer, is the pasta maker attachment. It's not cheap, but it's well worth it. It totally makes life easier when working this process. So what I'm gonna do here, I've got a little floured surface. I'm just gonna flatten out my dough a little bit on the floured surface, and I'm gonna chop it into 2. I'm gonna put one aside, and we're gonna work this one here. And we're just gonna get it ready for the pasta attachment. You can use a rolling pin if you want, but you don't really need. You can stretch it out a little bit with your hands just to get it ready. Now the pasta attachment has a couple of settings. It actually has 8 of them for thickness of pasta. I usually stop at number 4 because I find that it's sufficient for the bite and the size of the noodle, the thickness that I want. But we always start at number 1. And I'm going to show you this process now. So, turn our stand mixer on. Our pasta attachment is on the first setting, and we're just going to feed it through. Now, I'm going to speed this up as we go. I'm just doing it slow for the first one so you can see. But as you can see, it's already coming out like a beautiful sheet. So typically what I do after the first pass, because you're stretching it, it does tend to get a little sticky. So I just dust it with a little bit of flour on each side. And then I fold it in half, and I'm going to feed it through again. And now it's in the number 2 setting, and I'm going to run this a couple times. One more time, one more pass. And look at the color. It's perfect. And so, from this, again, we're gonna dust it lightly. We don't want it to dry out. I'm gonna cut it in half. And we're just gonna put it aside until we're ready to cut it into our strands. And in the meantime, I'll work this other piece. Okay, so our pasta sheets are ready, and I've inserted the fettuccine attachment to the stand mixer. But before I do, for those of you who don't have this, it's not essential in order to make pasta. And I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna take one of my sheets here, and I'm literally just gonna fold it in half, and in half, and in half, and in half again. I'm gonna get my cutting board, and now at this point, you can make whatever noodle you want. If you wanna go thin to make spaghettini, you can. If you want to go a little thicker to make, a fettuccine, or if you want to go even thicker still to make a pappardelle, your noodles are done. And that's all it really takes. And you can see the strands have different thicknesses. And this is the way to do it without your cutter. But this is a lot of fun and a lot quicker. So let's get to that right away. And as you can see, you get beautiful strands, all consistent sizes, which is nice. And there's your first string of fettuccine. Okay, so I've already got a pot of water at a rolling boil over here, well salted, may I add, salty like the ocean. And we're simply just gonna dump our fresh fettuccine in. I'm gonna set a timer for about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. In the meantime, I'm gonna get my frying pan ready because I always like to finish my pasta in the sauce as opposed to straining it away. So my sauce is going. I'm gonna put some into my frying pan. And from there, right into our frying pan. Oh yeah, look at this. Ready to go. However, I love my fresh basil on my pasta. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. Oh man, I can smell the garlic from the sauce. Now that is a nice plate of pasta. A little bit of Parmesan cheese. And voila. So that didn't take long, not too much effort, and I think I'm done talking to you guys. Once again, time for me to eat this.